Hi everyone, this is Jasmine and
Grace, and welcome to A Balanced Reality.
we are so pleased to have you joining us today. This week's topic is
Work, work, work. Today we're going to be talking about the best way to get what you want. As far as building wealth, is it all work and no play? Or just live your best life?
best life.
I think that I want it to be best life.
Yeah.
Like no work.
Right, who wants to work?
What's the work?
Not I, says the king. Um we've looked into several people who've quote unquote made it. And we're going to be talking about them today. Now, we're doing things a little bit different.
Yes.
You can see our lovely faces. Oh my god. Oh my god, Grace, I miss you.
I miss you too.
Oh
I'm
my
so
god. This is gonna be great.
aside from the fact that we kept we kept interrupting each other.
Yeah, see, so now we're still doing that, but I think I find because I'm editing the podcast, I talk too much. So
And I find, no, I'm kidding. But I don't talk enough.
so we both have our strengths and weaknesses, so we're definitely going to be
Indeed.
working on that.
But it's nice to be able to see you. I feel like we can actually chat
Yeah.
and like actually have a conversation
Right.
instead of staring around the room.
Yeah,
Wondering
laying
what you
down
say.
in the bed playing video games.
Oh, okay.
I never
The
did that
truth
though.
comes out.
I never did that. I would never do that to you. So you can actually see this video on our YouTube page. So hopefully you subscribed over there so you can see all our videos, all our bloopers. Because
Yes.
baby, they are a lot. Hey, baby.
It's not.
I mean,
we're,
they're funny.
we're professionals. There's not a lot.
Sure.
There's
Professional is the middle name. So Grace, who did you look up?
Let's do this. So I've looked up three people. The first person that I'm going to start with is Tina Wells.
Okay, cool.
This woman, this young black woman, is absolutely amazing. She started her marketing business when she was 16 years old.
Wow.
What? So still in high school, and she just grew this thing. So it reading about her, honestly, it looks like things just happened perfectly for her. And the more I had to like research and look up stories and listen to other people interviewing her, she always had a plan, right? And so because she planned her life and she was pointed in the right direction, like things came to her, people were introduced to her. Um, and so she was able to build on that. So that business that she started when she was 16 is still going. And it's become this international, like amazing agency. But she's always had that plan, and she's always listened to people who gave her the right advice. So I think someone had asked her, like, it just seems like your life is really, really easy. She's like, no, I believe in a plan. I believe that you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. You can just see in the way that she kind of builds, in the way she hires people, the way she's built her company. That's definitely a philosophy that she sticks with. So I like it. I like it. It's my first favorite.
Cool.
Who'd you look up?
I looked up, of course, the millionaire, the billionaire, Steve Jobs, God rest his soul. When we were thinking about this topic, I was like, the first name that popped up in my head was Steve Jobs. I mean, you talk about someone who like was a mover and shaker, who moved mountains. It was like, if you're not coming with me, you're gonna be left
Yeah.
back out here, and I'm gonna be making moves in this business. I read an article which we're going to be linking in our show notes,
Yep.
just on his biography of who he was. And some things that stood out to me was that manipulation. He was a manipulator. And then in my mind it was like, dang, well, is this really manipulation, or it is like, hey, I sound good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow me, I sound good. And one thing I think he said was, get behind good ideas even if they're not your own. You can always manipulate the past. So if I pitch something to Grace, like say I said, Grace pitched something to me saying, let's start a podcast, which she did. And I said, no, that's stupid. I don't want to do that. And then 2 days later, maybe a week later, I could be like, Grace, we should go on this business venture of a podcast. If
Yeah.
I'm that passionate enough, I could manipulate Grace into thinking, yeah, let's do it.
We should totally do
You're
that.
right. Not even remembering that that was her idea in the first place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think also to believe in your work and to pitch with passion. I think someone commented that he threw a pitch out, he was talking for 2 hours. Usually you don't pitch for 2 hours. You put your point
No.
across, and then the people who are deliberating are like, okay, we like it, not, or not.
I can't talk for 2 hours straight.
Yeah, no. And they said that he talked with so much fire and emphasis in what he was talking about. You couldn't help but stop everything and look at him. So that, I was just like, yo, come on, Steve Jobs. But my main thing was he manipulated a lot of people, and a lot of people were for it. Like the
Yeah.
CEO, like he came back. Like Steve Jobs left Apple and came back as like a consultant, but didn't
Hmm.
really tell the CEO at the time, was like, I actually want your job. So he manipulated his way into being the CEO again. He even got the board of directors. He told them, if y'all don't quit, I'm not coming back. And they all quit. And he was able to hire a whole new board of directors that he handpicked. And I'm just like, my man worked from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. He was. Steve Jobs did amazing. Apple,
So
Pixar.
I feel like I'm wondering, I guess I'm thinking about like the hero story, right? Like,
Yeah.
so if you're someone who's manipulative and yet you're that successful, like, is that the wrong way to go?
Right.
Like, do you have to have friends at the top?
I think,
If that's what you want, right? Like, your
yeah,
goal isn't friends or whatever. Like, is that does that justify your
being a jerk.
malevolent behavior?
Yeah. It's hard because you see what he accomplished, and it's
Yeah.
like,
And that
wow.
influence is spread on. I mean, good or bad, right? That influence is still spread on,
Right. And then the
and it
people,
influences a lot of people. So
they
yeah,
don't even feel like they were manipulated, or like they knew it, but then it was like, we making millions of dollars here.
right, right.
We're
So it's got
manipulate
to be
me.
worth it.
That's a song. So is it? I don't think it is.
Like,
It probably is somewhere.
we'll look it up.
But yeah, Steve Jobs, God rest his soul. And I think he wasn't into making friends. That's his thing. He was
If
like,
that's not what your purpose is, then
yeah,
why would that matter?
purpose is making millions and millions of dollars.
Mm-mm-mm. So my next guy, not next guy, he's the only guy actually I looked up. But I was trying to look up black women. But Tim Ferriss. So Tim Ferriss is the author of The 4 Hour Work Week. You guys have not read that, get your Kindle, get your audiobook, like
Get your
audiobook,
iPhones.
get whatever you need and read it. First off, it's a really easy read. But this guy's amazing. So all the different things that he's done, all the influences that he's had, his philosophy, I think one of the things that really, let me say, that resonated with me was that we're tricked into this mindset that we need to work constantly 40, 50 years, right? For this little tiny paycheck, and then take our frail, broken bodies till the end of retirement and then say, I've made it. And you're like, nah, like, you guys should, you need to include, like, create your mini vacations, what he calls them. So you create your job in a way that you can take these vacations. And it's not like your vacations are pauses, like they are experiences. So like when he travels to another country, it's not like a 2 week quick trip and you can come back to your life where you're like, oh, I hate it. No, like he completely immerses himself into wherever he's going, whatever he's doing. And I think the amazing part about his book, and this is one of, like, I want to say 5 or 6, where he puts all the things that you should do to do the same thing. So if you want to go travel to another country, this is how you can learn a language. This is how you can save money. This, you know what I mean? And like, so it's not as if it seems like all these things just happened for him, but he's pretty open about his track, like all the things that he did wrong. And he's like, you can do the same thing and then catch up to where I am, or you can listen. And so his philosophy, I think, is just, I love it. And it seems like, you know how people are, they're trying to give you advice, but they like leave out so much. And you're like, that's not attainable. That's not realistic, right? Like, I don't feel like, I didn't have that feeling when I was reading his book or listening to his podcast or reading his blog, because I have subscribed to all of those. You should. It's amazing. So,
I'm gonna go do that.
you should. Like, I think and you can tell that the things that he's trying to discuss are things that he's passionate about. But even if it's something that he just thought, that would be cool to do, he does it. And he completely does it, and he'll give you a quick write-up. That was pretty amazing. So I think that I like his work philosophy. It's do it.
Yeah.
So this is probably the second person that's just been like, their drive and their passion have been linked with their confidence, and they've just been unstoppable.
Wow.
So,
that's
my dude.
I like what you just said, that their drive is linked with their confidence. So many times you're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm not scared. Yeah, I'm too scared to do that. Like, I think you sent me the link. What's the writer guy, his master class?
Oh, the master?
Yeah, and I was just like, we sent the eye emojis to each other. And I was like, we talk about it a lot of, our dreams and stuff like that. But I think we're at the age now, we're like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's see what happens.
This is actually something that we could do.
Yeah, this is like, look at
starting this.
Like, just starting it. Also, I think, God, when you brought up working 50, 60 years, then taking your frail body to vacation.
Yeah.
I've done it. That's like the American dream. But like, why should that be the dream of working your whole life away?
The money that you get back, like regardless of how much you're making, because of your mindset, you're not honestly able to enjoy the breaks that you do have, the relationships that you're supposed to be building, your family, your friends. It becomes work and whatever else I can kind of squeeze in. That's just not something I'd like to subscribe to.
I don't want to subscribe to that either. I want us to go to a country and stay there for months. Just immerse ourselves in the culture.
Yes, and just not be worried about, okay, how much leave did I so that I can come back in like 3 days.
Not fully rested. Missing the culture aspect as well. Like, I didn't get to do that, so that's pretty cool.
Wait for another 2 years to save up my coins before I can go back again.
Right.
And check out the other half of the country.
You're right. And for me, who's never even been anywhere really, I really want to go out. And I got my passport.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I mentioned before about trying to get a passport. I just need y'all to understand. I feel like it's a church testimony moment. You know what I mean? Like, y'all don't know the struggle that we did, that we went through. I'm happy.
I'm happy too.
This is going to be the start. Yeah. Obviously, once we get our vaccines.
Yeah.
We can go. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm on that 160 trial. Once I realized, did you see the GIF where they gave the vaccine to the old lady? Then it's some movie, I think it's called, where the old lady was like a demon and she was crawling on the ground.
No.
What was it called? It's based. They spliced it together, so it was an old lady sitting in a chair, and they were giving her the vaccine. And then they said, like, 10 days later or something.
Isn't that Legion?
Yes, it's Legion.
Says the person that doesn't like scary movies.
Right. You know a lot of the titles, huh?
That was my movie. I kind of like that movie, actually.
The guy was fine. Wasn't he?
That's why I watched it.
He's the guy from Avengers. That's him.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine.
But he's fine. He did great.
He did great. Movie, not so much, but you, baby. You did also.
I don't remember the movie.
I don't either.
I
Was she
remember the creepy
pregnant?
grandma.
The creepy grandma, that creepy ice cream man.
Was there a kid?
On track.
Come back. You're up.
Back on track.
Who's your second person?
Of course, who else would it be but Oprah
Whoop, whoop.
Winfrey? Everybody knows Oprah Winfrey's story. Her childhood to where she is now is a complete difference.
Yeah.
And Oprah is just so zen. I don't know if you ever. I don't think I've ever seen Oprah get angry. Only time you've seen Oprah get hyper when she was giving everybody calls. So I don't think I've ever seen her angry in my life. And one thing I thought that was hilarious, not hilarious, but kind of to parallel Tina Wells, who said she planned for everything. Oprah does not plan for anything. Oh, she said, I don't really plan. If I get an idea, I just do it. And I'm just like, what? I mean, even doing this podcast, we had to plan out our points and stuff like that. So to hear like Oprah, I get an idea. Let's do it. It sounds good. Let's do it. She doesn't like meetings. She would rather have her personnel summarize the meeting, like to have them sit in it, summarize it to her. She's like, okay, that sounds good. That sounds great. She even like what Coretta Scott King called her and was like, hey, I want to pitch this idea to you.
Yeah.
And Oprah was definitely like, honey, baby child, don't fly out here to have a meeting with me because this is going to waste your time because I could say no. Then you're going to be mad that you flew all the way out here. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to be sad because I told you no and you flew all the way out here. Coretta ends up pitching the idea to Oprah Winfrey over the phone. And Oprah did say yes. So, but it's just like, and then Oprah, her TV show, her channel wasn't doing so good when it first came out. Mm-hmm. And she really was thinking like she wanted it to be a self-help type of thing for people to watch and do yoga and be zen and all those great things. But that's not what her audience wanted. So she realized, let me take a step back from her other show, the Oprah show, and really put myself in the center of OWN. And she actually became the CEO. She took over after the other CEO, I think, left. And then she was basically like, have your own circle of friends who keep you, accountable what you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And then when you let these artists come in on your projects, don't be nitpicking. No, let's move this here. Then, if you know that they're good at their craft, let them do them.
Yep. Yep.
And look how that would limit the stress also. You don't have to be manning all the projects. Like she brought Tyler in. She was like, Tyler, do you. The most popular show, the Have and Have Nots, brought her channel to like high ratings. So it's like Oprah is like living the Zen life with her orchards. Am I saying right? Orchids or orchids? I can't say. Yeah, I know English language is not my friend. What is this? Orchard?
I don't know which one. Is it the flower or like?
No, she had her vineyard. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Vineyards. She got orchids. I'll stop saying that word. Orchids.
Orchard?
Yes, Angry Orchard. I was just about to say.
That was a whole experience.
I will cut that out.
No, you should. No, go.
No, I'm gonna leave that. But that's why I chose Oprah. Like, that's what I saw when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Like, newscaster to having your own show, having your own channel. The richest black woman in the world. Not in the world. In America. Right? Is she the richest black woman in the world? I think she is.
I feel like she's up there.
I think she's up there. Wealthiest. She's wealthy. Because there's a difference between rich
Ooh, we're gonna
and
get to the difference
wealthy.
between rich and wealthy later. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Was that the end?
Yes, that's the end
Are
of
you
Oprah.
up?
Yep,
Okay.
you're up.
So, of course, I had to look up a celeb too. Queen Latifah.
Who
Everybody
you
know
calling them? Sorry.
Dana Owens.
Yeah.
Um, so beyond being like a rapper, actor, model, business entrepreneur to the fullest,
Mm-hmm.
list is exhaustive. Um, but she prioritizes what she does. So this is another person. I feel like I kept looking at people who like pulled confidence,
Mm-hmm.
confidence over fear, and surrounding yourself with good people. And so her thing was that like when you knew, like when there's something exciting going on, like even in her younger days, right? There, people, everyone else is going out, they're celebrating, they had a great time. She and her manager would be back working on the next project. And her philosophy pretty much was be curious, like try other things. Don't wait for the situation to get terrible and then you decide, oh, I guess I should do something, right? Like you should already have those things so that when the world does move from beneath your feet, you're like, oh, cool, okay. You're more resilient because you've already got 4 or 5 projects, that are already brewing, not
Mm.
waiting, not thoughts. They're already in the works. And so you're able to redirect your energy to those different things. So when she would be putting out albums, she was also working in movies. She was also doing all these different things. Like that was just what she did. These concepts, these businesses are already in motion. So I think that is brilliant. Like I think it's exhausting enough for me. First off, just reading um, all that she was doing, but like being able to find that balance, I absolutely respect that, and that's something like I'm trying to work on is making sure I find the balance to do all the different things that I'm trying to do, and then like be successful at it. Just respect. Oh my gosh. So I think what I pretty much pulled from her was her confidence, her faith, and definitely her friends. Like she stresses the importance of, again, kind of the opposite of Steve Jobs, right? Like what she wanted to do, where she definitely wanted to grow herself, but she brought other people with her.
Mm.
Um, but I think the important thing is not just grabbing everyone who you think would be fun to come along with.
Right.
You separate that. So you want to make sure one, these are people that are motivating you, and these are people that are actually going in the same direction as you.
Mm.
Because if y'all are trying to do this and they trying to do that, you're not going to help each other.
Not gonna
So
work.
that was my wrap up for Queen
I
Latifah. Who's
love
your?
Queen Latifah. She's like been a part of our lives since like
I know.
she's a heavy part of the '90s.
Oh, I
Saying,
forgot something else.
go
Sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
so,
Who? I
so
forgot.
I like made a special note about it too. The way her confidence
Mm-hmm.
is, it's not overpowering
Mm-hmm.
as you would like her characters, right? Like her movie characters, where she's just like,
Yeah.
she's very calm. When you were talking about Oprah, I was thinking about that, like that Zen nature where she's confident in what she's saying, but you feel like comfortable
Yeah.
around her. Um, I just feel like that kind of confidence comes with planning and security. Like you know what you're doing, and you're okay with kind of taking a chance. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, not at all. It just actually I remember the thing about Steve Jobs, how he was not confrontational. Like I think
Hmm.
his was it ex-wife? I don't know. But she was saying that he wanted it was a property that they had, I'm guessing, and I think they wanted to he wanted to bulldoze it and redecorate like a whole rebuilding thing. But I think he owned it with someone else and they didn't want that to happen. My man left his windows, like he let the house get dilapidated. Like he left the windows open. He never had nobody take care of it. He left it in such disrepair that they had to what? bulldoze it.
Although that, wow.
And it's just like he was patient enough to wait all those years to be like, I'm still going to get what I want at the end of the day. How diabolical to be completely.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm really trying to, I get like patience is a virtue, but my God.
My God. So he was not confrontation. He was like, okay, I'm going to let this house sit for 10 years. Nobody ever come to clean it up. Leave the windows open. So think about the wild animals that come in that joint.
Like the air and moisture is messing up
Yeah.
everything. Oh, that's terrible.
But he got what he wanted in the
Yeah,
end. But I feel like maybe men are allowed to be diabolical in business.
well, yeah, because it seems more like that's the macho kind of
Yeah,
way
that's the standard, really.
of achieving things, right? And like we have to be classy and crafty at the same time.
Because if we're diabolical, if women are diabolical in business, we're
Cutthroat.
labeled the B word.
It ain't right.
It's not right.
Coming for people's shins, man.
Throat punches. Who's giving up the Shinwei and them? Ha! Okay. So our final person is the person I chose, which is Catherine Hughes.
Yeah.
I cannot be transparent in saying I knew nothing about Catherine Hughes. Nothing. I have never heard her name ever. And it's wild because the contributions she's done to Washington, D.C., the community, the radio stations, for black people in general is like, why didn't I hear about her before? She is the second wealthiest
Why
black
wasn't
woman.
she taught in school? You can't see my eyebrow, but it was raised.
I'm a raise. Why wasn't she taught in school?
Yeah.
There's so many people. The education system is a whole nother segment.
That's definitely another episode.
Because let's not talk about how I learned more out of school than I did when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we got that.
Thank you. So Catherine Hughes is the creator of Radio One, also the creator of TV One. TV One is like they play all the black shows. I remember they used to play Roots, like on Black History Month. Like Roots used to be like recurring thing. So when she started, when she started the radio stations, her mindset was not making money, but it was to inform the black community, to encourage us. So her whole business thing was not about making money. And she would buy radio stations, like radio stations that were dilapidated or like falling, like not getting any ratings. And she would build them up and create them into awesome radio stations and like go on to the next. She was a single mother. She was married, but she was a single mother. And she bought, I think they had invested some money, but she bought his shares and was able to just create this sort of movement. And she even stated that her drive was her son. That's what was her drive, her push. It was like, it's not just about me now. It's about my son and about giving him something that can last him a lifetime.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, Catherine, who's still alive, by the way. And, go ahead, you was about to say something? Oh, you laughing?
I was laughing at you. She's still kicking.
She's still kicking. Not even that. Her son, I think she has 65 stations.
I thought you were about to say son.
She has 65 sons? Good God. No, she has 65 stations, radio stations. And then she
That's
launched
impressive.
TV One, and it now reaches 57 million people. My God, think of the platform.
The reach that you'd have to have, yeah. So, coming back and talking about generational wealth in the black community, it's a vital piece of our heritage, I feel like. And we need to be able to, I think, just as a way for us to restore, right,
Hmm.
our own, I'm going to say footing into the world, but you have to be able to pass on certain skills and assets. And we'll get into that in the next episode. But generational wealth is important because it's an establishment of a legacy.
Yeah, it's something you can pass down to generation to say that my grandkids are taken care of.
Hmm.
They don't
Hmm.
have to ask for a loan 32 times, or they don't have to beg here and there. They have a certain set of skills that I've passed down onto them that they can pass to their children.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to dive in a little bit more actually. So next week, you guys hang out and you'll get part two where we look into generational wealth. What is it? How can you get it? Is it
Get it.
actually attainable for Black people? My short answer is absolutely.
Absolutely. We can do this as a people. So, Grace, what's your wellness tip for today?
I think best advice, especially with working hard and trying to determine your path of success, is to stop comparing your journey to other people. It weighs heavily on you. It distracts from what you're trying to do. You add unnecessary pressure and stress, and you already have that because you're doing something new and different. And so you put that energy towards doing your great thing. Your journey will be your own, and it'll be your success made in a way that you want it to be instead of you trying to compare yourself to, you know, what sis is doing down the street. So I think, yeah, stop comparing yourself to other people. Jealousy will kill your dream.
Kill it. And everybody's journey is different.
Absolutely.
Nobody's path is supposed to look the same. I might have a few rocks over here, and someone might have boulders on their journey. You have to run the race that we've been given.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I forget what pastor that is, but that is my, I love hearing that. There's an excerpt. Someone said that, yeah, run your own race. Don't worry about what other people are doing.
right.
Run your own race.
You'll get there in your time, also.
Yep.
Don't rush.
That's it, guys. That is the end of today's episode. I'm Grace.
And I'm Jasmine, and this is A Balanced Reality. If you're on Anchor, leave a voice message, say hi, or give us some ideas for our next discussion.
We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next week.